As someone exploring the strengths of intelligent design, ID, and examining the limitations and criticisms often directed toward evolutionary explanations and abiogenesis, it's crucial to focus on the robust arguments presented by ID proponents and to acknowledge the shortcomings found within conventional evolutionary theory. Strengths of intelligent design. Irreducible complexity. I find the argument of irreducible complexity compelling. ID posits that certain complex biological structures, such as the bacterial flagellum and the blood clotting cascade, cannot be simplified without losing their essential function. These structures contain multiple interdependent components, all of which are necessary for the system to work. Proponents of ID, like biochemist Michael Behe, argue convincingly that such complex systems are unlikely to have evolved through a series of gradual adaptations because the functional system appears to require all parts to be present simultaneously. Specified complexity. Another strong point in favor of ID is the concept of specified complexity. ID observes that life is not just complex, but exhibits an intricate order and specificity that random processes are unlikely to produce. The information within DNA, for example, is highly specified with precise instructions for constructing proteins, regulating developmental processes, and enabling cellular functions. This level of detail and precision, from what I've studied, mirrors the kind of complexity we typically attribute to intentional design by intelligent agents, rather than to undirected natural forces. Fine-tuning of the universe. The argument from fine-tuning is particularly persuasive. The constants of physics and the initial conditions of the universe are finely tuned to a degree that allows for life. From the strength of gravitational forces to the rate of expansion of the universe, these constants align within extraordinarily narrow ranges that permit life's existence. This fine-tuning suggests intentional calibration, which seems to imply a designer. It's challenging to ascribe such precision to random chance or cosmic inevitability without invoking some form of purposeful design. Criticisms of evolution and abiogenesis. Challenges with abiogenesis. In my assessment, abiogenesis, which attempts to explain the origin of life from non-life, significantly struggles to provide a convincing mechanism. Despite extensive theoretical and experimental efforts, there is no conclusive evidence or universally accepted scenario for abiogenesis. The conditions required to spontaneously generate life's building blocks are not only highly specific, but also need to be maintained in just the right arrangement for a sufficient length of time. A scenario not yet demonstrably feasible in natural settings. Gaps in transitional fossils and macroevolution. While evolutionary biology claims to provide detailed explanations for the development of complex structures, there remain significant gaps, particularly in the fossil record and in the mechanisms proposed for macroevolution. The fossil record, although rich, often lacks the clear, finely detailed transitional forms expected between major biological groups. This absence is notable in instances like the Cambrian explosion, where many major animal phyla appear suddenly without direct evolutionary precursors. Limitations of mechanistic explanations. Evolutionary mechanisms such as natural selection and mutation provide some insights into variations within species and the adaptation of populations. However, they are less convincing when it comes to explaining the origin of complex biological information. Natural selection works on existing genetic information, but does not explain how such information, especially that which is highly complex and functionally specific, initially arose. Mutations tend to be random and are more often deleterious rather than beneficial, making the likelihood of sequentially positive mutations leading to complex structures statistically improbable. In my journey to understand these complex issues, I've found that while evolutionary theory offers valuable insights, it does not fully address every aspect of biological complexity or the fine-tuning apparent in the cosmos. Intelligent design provides a plausible alternative framework, emphasizing aspects of biological systems and universal constants that suggest purpose and design.